Welcome, one and all, to Beyond the Edge. I'm your host, Brandy Deutsch.
I'm Dee Dee DeMayo, your co-host, and we're so excited that you could join us today.
And today we have a very special guest in our studio, the beautiful Erica Romelli. We're so excited to have you here today. And we have an in-studio audience today, so we want to welcome them here as well. And we're going to talk about one of our favorite subjects today. So I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about frequency and plant medicine. It's really all frequency, but we're going to have Erica talk to us more about that. And first, welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
We're going to do a lot of laughing today here, too. Let me just warn you. Today is a laugh, giddy, fun, and really exciting show. So I just want to start by saying we always want to do something that's cutting edge. We want to talk about the things that are relevant to today, and we want to celebrate people who are living their best life and living in authenticity. And Erica is one of those beautiful people who are doing that. So
Absolutely.
So I want to introduce her properly. Let me give you some information about Erica. And so Erica was born with hypersensory gift of healing, channeling, and meditating since she was 13 years old. This cosmic medicine woman learned many ancestral practices from renowned masters, shamans, and indigenous elders. She's the founder of Better Humans, a global firm with clients in over 15 countries. Now, listen to these certifications. This is great. I love this. This is what gets me so excited. She's a pranic psychotherapist and pranic healer, a certified holistic nutrition consultant, a certified stress management coach, master herbalist, a published author, a meditation instructor and aromatherapist. And she's been a keynote speaker and guest in Canada, Colombia, Mexico, and here in the U.S. And she was named International Woman 2012 by Femme Magazine. So, where do we?
It's really big.
It sounds amazing.
It's a good point to show that really when you turn the light on and you let it start exuding, that you really have no limits on what you can achieve and be in any part of your life. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I get excited when I see people who are living their best truth, living their authenticity, sharing it with other people, and really making a difference in the world. So, Erica, tell us some more about what you do. We're so excited to learn more.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me here today. I think we're going to get first started with the accent, and we'll get that out of the way. I grew up in Switzerland, on the French side of Switzerland, and then my teenage years were in Colombia. So I'm a very organized people person. It's the Latino blood in there that gets things going. So the accent is a mixture of many different countries and many different cities I've lived in. So now that we have that, before people start trying to place it, let's get into the work and how I got to be doing all this amazing transformational work with so many individuals all over the world. And it really started because I was born hypersensorial, which really just means there's a heightened acuity to vibration, to sound, to energy, and a very intuitive communication to all of the particles and all of the information that is around us. So it really starts that way, being a little different, and the reality just looked and felt a little off to my parents, to friends, to some of the things that I was perceiving, some of the things that I was talking about. I just didn't have a lot of individuals around me that really could relate. So it really started this quest of wanting to show people that we all have the same ability. I was not born any more special than what you are. It's just some individuals are born with something just a little more developed. just the same way as you, as a child, can paint beautifully or can draw beautifully, and some other ones can't. But then you go to art school and you learn about perspective, and you learn about shadows, and you learn about coloring, and then you paint beautifully. It's exactly the same.
So excuse me, but what you're saying is basically that, as we share this information, it's about showing people how to discover
Yes.
what's inside
Yes.
and bring it out.
Yes.
So yeah, I love that.
Or
Love that.
uncover.
To uncover
Yeah.
Uncover.
Reveal
and
that
realize
inner
it's
greatness.
possible. Yes, absolutely.
So one of the biggest things that has been the quest in my entire career is to show that there are no healers. Because people say, "Oh, I'm a healer, you need me," or "I'm a coach, you need me."
Exactly.
And we've just moved historically through humanity from needing the shaman or the medicine person to then needing a priest, to then needing a doctor, to then needing always an external support. And what I want to remind every one of us is that you don't need anyone else.
Exactly.
You have this incredible divine power to be intuitive, to heal, to be able to perceive, to know, and know in your heart without having to study. So the point is, the beginning is me noticing everyone has this ability.
Yes.
They're just not using it. So one day I'm going to have a company that teaches people how to do that. And it didn't start with the word company, it started, I'm just going to teach that. And then my dad says, teaching meditation is not a career. What are you going to study?
There's that analytical.
It could be a career for people that are reluctant to meditate because of the lack of trust.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes,
Meditation is a hobby. It's
Yes.
an activity
Yes.
you do on the side. Well, then I'm going to study business, so that one day I have a company that teaches people how to which is exactly what happened. So I started meditating at a very young age, doing energy healings intuitively, obviously, because as a child you haven't received, some people say proper training. I want to remove the word proper out of that, because that is a concept of humanity that is very limiting.
Exactly.
Out of the transcending cosmic potentiality that we have. So I didn't receive human training. That's a better way to put it. Because the programming was already activated. So then you just feel energy, and then with that I could see the colors, I could see auras, I could come close to a person and feel that there were things that were out of balance. And that did not mean that there is a disease or that there is an illness. It just meant they were out of tune.
Oh, wow.
So I came from a family of musicians and artists, and guitars are not broken. Guitars are used and played with and sung with, and then they come out of tune because they're subject to use, to temperatures, to climate, to humidity, and the guitar comes out of tune. And what do? You rebalance and you retune to your guitar. The same thing happens with the human body. It doesn't mean that we are sick or that we are ill or that something is malfunctioning. It just means you're out of tune. And that gave the foundation for what became my life's work.
Oh, wow.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I get the sense that you're here, and instead of calling people healers, we're here to help people remember how to be more in tune with themselves, with the world, in their relationships. I really love that analogy, because there is this search for external healers. There is this search for external, please fix me right now, right? Instead of, let's remember who we are. Let's remember that we can tune ourselves to the frequencies that we want to be connected with, that we want to be more in sync with, like creator, like all that is, right? Like better communication, right? Like association with these, I want to say, just higher frequencies. There's so much, there's so many that we can tune into. It's interesting how we limit ourselves and we say, well, we can only be this or that. That's all our options. But when we rise above and we look from a higher plane or higher place, we can see, wow, there's all these options that we didn't even know about, right? So how did you come to help people with these frequencies? How do you help people with just imbalances? How does that work?
I think I was very blessed with the fact that I didn't have to look too far, and that the environments I was in provided the individuals that I was able to touch or inspire or uplift, and that just kind of transcended into just a big consulting firm that is now in many different countries. So I grew up with powerful men, and therefore I said, well, if we're really going to change the world, where do we start? And it had to be with the heads. So if we can touch the heads, and really when I say heads, I mean heads of organizations, but we're really touching their heart,
Right.
of those individuals that are leading, then the decisions that they make in the organizations and in their families will be enhanced and uplifted, like you said. So the beginning of it all was to enter the corporate world and begin to uplift and transform the executives and how they make their decisions.
I love it. So what it sounds like you're doing is really starting from the top, and then from the top going higher.
Yes.
The next thing.
Yes.
Right. The next.
Which are the individuals that can really cause a lot of damage if they are unconscious.
Yes.
So people that I call have the power of the pen or the power of the microphone, the power of the masses. Those are the individuals that really need to be activated, that need to be brought into awareness and consciousness, so that they are a little more mindful that everything that they do, touch, and say has an impact, has a ripple effect on the environments that we all coexist.
That's right. That's right. I love that. I love that. That sensibility of it just makes so much sense, right? To start from that place and then to move up and move forward. So we're gonna need to take a commercial break real quick.
And
then,
away.
yeah. So and stay tuned, because we're really gonna get into the how and the apparatus and the tools that Erica uses during these sessions to really help people tune and get up to the next level, the next step of what they really want to accomplish and how they want to feel, right? How they all want to feel. So stay tuned, don't go away, and we'll be right back.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio. Because truth still matters.
Edge, and we're here with Erica Romelli of Better Humans, and we've been talking about frequency and plant energetic medicine, and we're going to get into the how now. We're going to talk about the tools and apparatus that Erica uses to tune back our frequency to the frequency we want to be at. And also, Erica, I'd like to get into a little bit more specifics too, about what is frequency? Just how, what is frequency and how does it tune the body?
Okay. So all of the tools that I used are really about helping an individual rebalance. And we can rebalance through food, we can rebalance through plants and teas and herbal medicine. We can rebalance or actually get out of balance also, right? Get out of balance based on what we use, what kind of cosmetics we put in our body, music we listen to. So when I started working with individuals and noticed that the key was to help them reestablish the habits and the environment that was conducive to their healing, that implies a bigger picture than just what people call wellness, in this case, a yoga class a week and 2 salads. That's not wellness. You gotta think wellness, you gotta watch wellness TV, you gotta be with friends that are wellness and inspired. So everything in your life needs to be permeated to that, which led to all of these different certifications and putting together that piece. Once you're able to notice that frequency or vibration is really the component of all there is in life and in the universes, everything is just composed of sound and waves. Those waves create an impact in our biofield. We have an auric biofield, and that creates a bubble that is receptive. That receptive bubble feels electromagnetic impulses around us. And that is really where the mind is. When we went to school, all of us, they taught us that between our ears we have a brain, and that between our ears we have the mind. Wrong. Between our ears we have a brain, which is a human organ. Our mind is out of the body. It is an electromagnetic membrane that perceives and reads signals and waves. That is how we all communicate, and that's why we can sit next to each other going, you two are so lovely and pleasant. And there's an energy between us in our bubbles that vibrates in a way that is pleasant. But if you happen to be traveling on a plane sometimes, or if you happen to be in a crowd and someone sits next to you, maybe the energy is not the same, and you feel yourself kind of pulling away and not wanting to be around that person. Or maybe you're house hunting and you got into a place and the vibration of that place is just not what you wanted. That is perceived in energy. So when we remind people to trust their gut and to trust that vibration, which is really your mind perceiving and talking to you, we begin to create a little bit of alignment between our body and our mind. And then eventually our heart now can lead in a more efficient and assertive way. In order to do all that, our current urban habits and lifestyles are just not conducive to that. Everything is out to get us to mess our frequencies.
Yeah.
So the music that we're listening actually has a dissonance. The foods that we eat are quite disempowering. The traffic jams we found ourselves in the city is very stressful. The air, the water has fluoride and chlorine in it. So anyways, the list is so endless. The makeups that we put on our bodies and the chemicals that we put in our bodies. So everything around us is actually disempowering this highly vibrant biofield.
Disrupting
And
the
disrupting. Yes.
Absolutely.
So then we ask children to sit still in school, but they're high on sugar, EMF waves all around them. They've been hyped in so many different ways. They have not been loved and touched and cared for. And then they're like, oh, he can't sit still, he needs Ritalin. So the whole point of our society really needs to realize that the chaos is caused by ourselves
Yes.
and by our lack of awareness. So what I do, and it started with corporate clients, teaching them stress management, and then realizing, wow, actually they started their day with some rancid coffee, some fake sugar, fried dough dipped in sugar, and then they go, now let's be creative. How?
Oh, wow, yeah.
The first thing you do is clog the body, completely just slow down the frequency, and that's for those that don't add the bacon, which, by the way, pork is the only animal that does not sweat. What does that mean? That all the toxins are inside the meat. When an animal is about to die, all of us, there's a stress level that is felt. You know that things are just not looking good moving forward.
That's right.
You just know.
That's right.
So
It's fear.
at that point, this energy of chaos, of stress, of cortisol, of adrenaline, of stress hormones is just dumped into the meat, and that is the moment where that poor animal is killed. So, and that is the meat, the residual energy in the meat, which is vibration. So you consume that, and a lot of individuals in this beautiful country start their day with bacon, which to me, moving into this country, was so confusing. Why would you put the first thing you put in your body? Why would it be bacon, fried lard? I don't understand. But okay, so bacon or sausage, and then a donut, and then coffee. And I say rancid because as an herbalist, the grain of coffee is like an avocado. When you cut it and you expose it to oxygen, it gets oxidized, like an apple or like an avocado. But the apple or the avocado, they're light in color. When they get oxidized, they turn brown and you can see it. But the coffee, you can't see it, it's already brown. So you end up grinding the grains, being packaged, and months later, that's when you're drinking that brew. That means you're drinking an avocado that you cut months ago. Ew.
So how do we bring it back into balance? How do we bring the body back? All these things, right? And get rid of them.
It's about beginning to create awareness.
Yes.
So I'm listing these things that seem kind of in many different directions, but it's really just many branches out of the same trunk of the same tree. Which is, if you do want to achieve a certain lifestyle, you do need to pay attention to every aspect of your life. And this beautiful 2020 year has brought us so many lessons of awareness and of awakening to be able to notice who we're with, what kind of activities consume our days, what kind of foods we put in our bodies. So where to start? With the simplest thing you can do and the best you can afford. That's where you start, whatever that is. So let's start, I guess, with some very simple tips of frequency.
Okay.
Yeah? Will that work?
Sounds good.
So frequency is this wave that is all around us. The easiest way is to sing and using your voice. Your voice creates a sound, and that sound creates a vibration, and that vibration changes the environment because it acts like a sonar effect, right? You send a wave out until the wave hits something and then comes back to you. So you begin to change your space with your voice. Therefore, step number 1 is watch your words and use your voice appropriately, because that is your most important healing device. So singing, using empowering words is amazing. Next,
Yeah, I love that point. And I was just thinking about this the other day. Anytime I walk into a place of worship where they're singing and they're using their voices in unison, in choir and chorus, and they're giving praise, or they're just, singing about anything that has to do with the Most High, my heart gets filled with so much joy. And sometimes, more often than not, there's tears. You know, because it really touches you, or you'll get goosebumps, right? We all know how that feels. So to think that just by using our voice we can lift our vibration, I think it's absolutely true. And you know this from your own experience, right? If you've had these sensations, then you know, oh yes, that feels so wonderful. It feels so uplifting, right? So super, super important. And go ahead, what else is the next one?
So kind words, especially to children, loved ones, let's start there. Then the use of plants. And I brought a few samples because every plant also has a vibration. So plants, animals, everything there is. And that's why doing a lot of the shamanic work that I've done and learning from so many elders and indigenous teachers from all over the world, it has been about reconnecting with the natural world and recognizing that we are interconnected with everything that is around us. That is the waters, the plants, the trees, the animals, the wind. So everything is interconnected. And within that, everything has a purpose and has a place and has a vibration, and it sustains that. So I brought today to show you something like that. So I brought some of my crystals, and I'm going to show you how to do some basic crystal healing and some stones. So this is a worry stone or a stress stone, and they're kind of polished on the back. This one is red in color, base chakra, but it's red because it has that frequency, that vibration. Everything that you see with color has a vibration. That's why sometimes you want to wear a particular color and you don't want to wear another one. It's not sometimes about the fit of the shirt, it's more about the vibe. So you can buy any of these and then keep it in your pocket and kind of rub it. So that vibration will help regulate certain aspects of the body. Another thing that you can do is use plants. So I brought from South America a Palo Santo. So Palo Santo is called a holy wood because of its electromagnetic vibration. It's really high. So when you light a little bit of the Palo Santo in the space, you're actually uplifting the space. You're smudging. In North America, they use sweetgrass, for example. In Asia, they use a lot of the sandalwood plants,
Sometimes
the
sage,
rose
right?
and sage.
I love the smell of Palo
I
Santo.
do too.
Love the
Especially from South America.
Oh, it's
I have to
incredible.
bring back a suitcase full.
It's incredible.
So here you have very simple ways using stones, using wood, using incense to uplift the environment, and that's because of the electromagnetic composition of the plants. Another thing that you can do, and I'm going to pass this to the audience. I'm sorry you guys are watching at home can't smell these, but I brought a beautiful essential oil. This is from Wisdom of the Earth, Way Love, and this is violet. And these are cold pressed petals of violet flowers, and the vibration is so high that it actually opens up the crown chakra. You can put a little drop on your forehead. It really activates the pineal gland and your ability to be intuitive, or a little bit in your heart when you're feeling emotional, to kind of rebalance that. Why? Because of the frequency, because of the vibration, because of the wave it emits. So when you use it in your body, it helps to retune you. So the next commercial break, I will pass these to the audience so you guys can try it and smell them.
Well, speaking of commercial break,
I want to smell it now. Can I smell it now?
speaking of break, we're going to take a quick one, and then we'll come back and we'll learn more about Erica's wonderful tools. So don't go away.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk,
And I bring the unity,
and together we talk about unity.
unity.
Unity is what matters.
Come on.
And right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad to Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
Welcome back to Beyond the Edge, and we are continuing our conversation with Erica Romelli of Better Humans, and we were sampling some of these amazing essential oils, and Dee Dee wants to talk about her experience.
So I have a question because when I did smell the violet and it was delightful, very light. But the frankincense, when I put it towards my nose and I took a breath, I had a vibration go through my body, and it focused like right on my right side and then went all the way down to my foot. So it was like I had touched electricity. So explain why that happened, because that's never happened before smelling an oil.
I love it. So the topic of the day, vibration, right?
Yes.
Everything I do has to do with a vibe, a wave, and you felt it.
I did. I was.
So violet is the aerial parts of the plant, the petals, but the frankincense is made with the resin. And what is the resin? The blood of the tree.
Wow.
What goes inside the tree. And what is a tree? A grounding, earthy being. So when you smell a very high vibrational frankincense, you connect with the essence and the energy, the blood of that tree, and it grounds you.
It absolutely went through my body. And so wow. I was like, wow, okay.
Incredible. So that is another thing that people at home can do. Just make sure that the essential oils that you use are different for different purposes based on the vibration. So you want to have medical grade, really high quality vibe essential oils to use on your body, especially if you're going to take internally. So if you're making shortbread cookies and you want to add a drop of lemon, or if you want to add lavender to your child. But if you're going to use a diffuser, then at that point, maybe you can compromise a little bit with something that's a little more generic. Yep. Okay, so now that we have some tools, you can eat high vibration, you can wear high vibration, you can smudge your house in places with plants and use crystals that have high vibration. And the other thing is to use tuning forks and Tesla energy lights.
Yes. We do have some examples of those, right?
The Tesla energy
Tesla?
lights. You guys want to talk about that
Yes.
now?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Let's go into that. So first, let's talk about that. Like, what is that apparatus? What are you talking about?
Is that yeah, the camera's there. So I'm holding a light bulb there. That has no cables. So it's LED, and I'm holding it in my hand because the electromagnetic particles of these lights donate electrons in a very subtle way, and your body is able to absorb them and use them. Now, there's a difference between the particular lights that I use based on the research of Nikola Tesla. They're actually low voltage, and that is the key with all of these technologies. A lot of people think that high vibration means high voltage, and that is actually quite offensive to the human body. So the inventors of these have worked with a high frequency of creating the wave of love, but low voltage, so it's very easily assimilated by the body.
Right. It clarifies what shock means. I mean, because if it's high voltage, if it's not that lower voltage, it shocks the system and it's damaging.
Yes.
It's like grabbing hold of a 110
Yes.
wire or something. So
Yes.
it makes sense that
Whereas
it would need to be.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
But
no,
whereas a low voltage would generate, and the electrons, as you're saying, the body can use electrons in a very productive way.
Like an
To
impulse.
heal.
Impulse.
A
Yeah.
heartbeat impulse. So.
So the way these work, you lay or sit between these lights. I turn them on, and now you sit in this beautifully uplifted field of electromagnetic particles.
Wow.
And your body, in this case, your subtle body, so your auric biofield, receives those frequencies. So the electromagnetic wave permeates into the auric field. Your body receives it. And I say body, but it's really just air all the way through, right? Just the manifestation of body in a very condensed way, but the particles go through, enter your cells, and promote cellular regeneration, may reduce inflammation, regenerate maybe injuries that you might have. So we've been able, through technology and through vibration, to regulate and help individuals heal, repair their body, and physically and emotionally, things that have addictions and traumas and all sorts of things. So it's been very beautiful. So the lights, the way I do it, so I do sessions, and people come to me for many different reasons. Depending on the reason, I will first scan them and have a sense for what that biofield looks like. And sometimes it feels like it has holes, or it has maybe a blockage. Maybe they already have a pain that has been identified, or an issue that they're working with. So I work with the tuning forks, I work with energy, and I work with the crystals to kind of clear that energy, that cotton candy cloud that you have around you, and rebalance it and make it smooth. We use tuning forks, so the ones that are weighted create a vibration, and that vibration I place directly on the body, and it uses your bones to carry that frequency up and down the body. So it has different frequencies, and those are the ones that I would select depending on what we need to achieve. And the ones that don't have the weights on the top, I actually use outside of the body, or I can get really close. But what they do is they send a wave, and your body responds to that wave, and in my hand, it feels different. So I stay retuning a liver, or retuning the kidneys, or the ovaries, or an eye if someone has an issue, whatever it is that they have. So we just move certain frequencies around the body. This sends the wave that I want. This is how we want to tune it. The body responds, and in my hand it feels a little different. So I stay there until the two are in sync. And then my client is put under the Tesla energy lights, and we seal that brand new high vibration. So now the biofield has been retuned to a higher frequency, and that creates an optimal environment for the body to heal and regenerate.
So I have a question, because we've identified body parts that you work with,
Yes.
and something that's very prominent right now is mental health,
Yes.
depression, and things like that. So if you had someone that maybe didn't have a body part they could identify, and just overall well-being, you could set and tone with the vibrations to help with the mental clarity and cleansing of that negative energy, or some people relate to it as darkness or whatever. And it's about healing overall, wellness overall, and learning how to fine tune that for yourself at some point. I love that.
And it's so easy.
Yes.
I love it because I have hundreds of clients that saw psychologists, that went to psychiatrists, that took pharmaceutical drugs for years and decades. And with just a handful of sessions, we're able to just rebalance, because your body is amazing, is majestic. You are a masterpiece.
Yes.
The body, if you give the body the right tools, your body will heal. That's why I don't call myself a healer. People call me a healer, but I'm not the one inside your body doing the healing.
The body knows how to heal itself.
Yes. I'm just a janitorial person.
She's the
Clearing
janitor.
and cleansing.
Janitor of your
You have
body.
mess duty, right?
I'm a very well-dressed maid.
Yeah. Oh wow. I love that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Which is so beautiful because it really knocks down ego.
Yes.
And when you knock down ego, then you can really access this divine, clear, beautiful, healing, loving energy. Sometimes the ego gets in the way, and then it puts a filter.
I say the ego always gets in the way. I think that's our number one challenge, just even as people walking around, men and women of the living soil. How do we get out of our ego just to be humbled and say, yeah, I need some help, figuring out how this body and how this system needs to get back to what it needs to be. I'm curious about what frequencies you're using with the tuning fork. Like because we speak in hertz when frequency, right? What is the most common one that you find people lack or need in terms of frequency?
Well, that's a great question. And that's actually really useful for whoever's listening, because you could buy one tuning fork, one lone tuning fork, 528 hertz. And you can grab a lemon and tap it on the lemon, okay? Or I have a little belt that I wear like that, and I have a hockey puck. And I tap it in my hockey puck. And the reason is because I do hundreds of healings. So my hubby was an ex-pro hockey player. So I tap it on the hockey puck, and it's amazing because then the resonance is there, but I'm not bruising myself. A lot of people just tap their body, and if you do hundreds of these a week, then I'll end up quite bruised. So 528 hertz is beautiful. It is a DNA repair vibration. 432 hertz is great as well. So that is something that people can just do, or YouTube or Spotify, whatever player you use. Music that has that frequency layered under the melody. So you can choose whichever melody you want, as long as it has some of these frequencies layered under. So you can listen to that. You can do a sound bath when you're taking a bubble bath, and put a speaker, because water conducts electricity.
Wow.
So put a speaker, play some frequencies, and take your bath. And now you're bathing in this amazing vibration.
I love taking a bath when you have all the different earth elements, right? You've got fire, the water, if you can light a candle, and then the water, and then even sound creates a kind of air, right? It changes the vibration in the air. So I love the elemental bath time, adding the sound. That's wonderful. So we need to take another commercial break. Well, this is exciting. I love hearing this information because it's simple things, but it's also, it can get a little more complicated, but I think it's all very simple. I really do. I
want to keep it simple.
Right. And if we keep it simple, anybody can do it. Anybody can change their frequency. Anybody can start to heal. So I love this information. Don't go away. Come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about authenticity, because I think it's very important to add this element in to what we're talking about. And it may not seem related, but I think it's 100% related to what we've been talking about. So don't go away. Come right back.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay?
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Welcome back to Beyond the Edge, and we're continuing our conversation with Erica Romelli about energy, frequency, medicine, and this has been so exciting. And what came up was that maybe not everyone has the opportunity to actually physically go and experience this technology, this frequency technology. So we were talking with Erica, and what she offered was, for those of you who are viewing today, there is an opportunity to have remote frequencies sent to you. How does that work, Erica?
Well, the energy that we have, our body imprint, is our own, just like a thumbprint. No one has that. So, I think you guys will have my email posted. Please reach out. And if you're interested, if I get a Polaroid, not a digital picture, but an imprint of your light, a Polaroid I can actually place under the Tesla energy lights, and the lights will fuel your biofield. Wow. So you can experience what a Tesla energy light session will look like by just me placing a Polaroid.
Wow, that's going to be amazing.
That is amazing. And energy is not bound by time and space. No. And so whenever we do this kind of intention, the photograph, I read energy in photographs. So I can tell in somebody's picture what kind of character, what kind of energy is around them. So it makes sense to be able to also change that frequency by intentionally putting light, energy, frequency into that photograph and having that intention. So I know it works personally. Yeah. I think it would be amazing if some of our studio audience and some of the people watching today could experience something like that. So we'll definitely have your information down in somewhere in the comments, or we'll be able, and you'll say a little bit later how to get to you.
Yes.
But
findable.
Yeah, completely findable. I want to touch on this. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. And I think when we go a little bit deeper, what we're talking about is not just staying on the surface, but really going in towards the heart. And what we call you is this cosmic medicine woman. And I think that we do that. I love that title because you really embody your authenticity. I think you're just an amazing person. You shine through with who you really are. I know people can see that. I know they can feel that. I certainly can. Yes. Thank you. How does one embody their authenticity?
Embodied authenticity. What a great question. Before I get into answering it, I want to create a platform to build on, and I want to separate authenticity of behavior with authenticity of who we are as a soul. We are not the behavior. So a lot of people think I'm being authentic by behaving this way.
Oh, wow.
And that is ego. That is not authenticity. So we are not the behavior. We are the soul. And we are divine beings. And we are spiritual, gentle, filled with basic goodness and generosity. That is who we truly are. And you know, in Spanish we have a difference between I am, yo soy, and I am, estoy, which implies these two different verbs imply one is temporary. So I am a woman, although in this day and age, I guess that's no longer a good example, but okay, point is, I want to be all encompassing. I am something that I can't change versus I am feeling. So in English, you would say I am sick. In Spanish, we never say I am sick. It is never a declaration. It says I am feeling. The verb, the language itself creates a difference and an option for whatever to imply there is change in continuity. So, having created that premise, authenticity for me is really embodied by recognizing that I am a divine being, that I am on vacation on planet Earth, and that I want to leave this Airbnb better than how I found it.
Yeah.
And so that's really the first initial root for this, is to recognize that we are all these divine souls. Now, then you need courage. But it wasn't like that my whole life. I was bullied a lot. Obviously, because what I did and the books that I read were maybe not what my other classmates were reading. And the subjects I was interested in were just a little too foreign for everyone in my circle. So there is a sense of courage that you need to tap into. And it wasn't until I disintegrated ego, I guess, in a way, because through meditation you begin to really see the difference of what are people going to say, how am I going to be perceived or judged. And when you begin to notice that that does not dictate your life, and that you do have talents or that you do have gifts that could enhance a space, and you step into that, it naturally gives you the courage to keep on moving. And then to see the results that were happy, positive, and how I felt when I wasn't being gentle, kind, and empowering, when I was behaving according to the programming of my society or my group, I felt out of tune. And so tuning into that is really what gives us the power to move with strength, which I recommend all of us to do, because that's really how we build this high vibe tribe.
Yes.
If everyone embodies their talents, their gifts, what they're good at, and own it, and go, I don't like this. Who could do it for me, please? When we voice it in a loving, caring, and open way, the tribe expands.
Now, I'd like to add to that, something that's a good clue, if you're just learning or experiencing that, is when you step into becoming or the existence of what you really are, if that moment brings you peace and joy and there's less chaos, so, tune into that as I'm doing it right for you. And because you're going to get resistance, you're going to not have that immediate tribe around you, and things may shift. So follow that, what gives you peace, and that's your yes, that's your permission slip to continue growing in that and finding your authentic I am.
I love it. Yeah. I agree 100%. I really also, I think this coalesces with what you said in the beginning regarding your voice and having courage to really speak your truth and tell people what's really happening with you, regardless of what they're going to say, how they're going to respond. We've been very conditioned in our world to seek the approval or do what's right by someone else, and not really checking in with ourselves and going, what's right by me? How do I want to show up in this world? So I love your answer. It's absolutely beautiful. I really hope that more people can get. How can people get in touch with you, Erica?
EricaRomelli.com, and then everything else will be in there. If you want sessions, if you want a free conversation, call me. I would love to chat with you.
Who says that? Nobody says that.
Absolutely.
Call me, I'll talk to you, right?
Yes,
And
that's
send
amazing.
the Polaroid. Send the Polaroid.
Yes. So EricaRomelli.com, and then soon we're gonna have a beautiful shop with uplifting products, skincare,
Love it.
lifestyle, teas,
excited.
tonics, cacao, sacred cacao.
I tasted your cacao, your hot cacao. It was so good. It was so good.
It's amazing. These high vibe products are incredible because of what goes in to making them, creating them, blessing them, and then sending them all around the world. It is phenomenal how they respond to the body, how the body responds to them. It is this beautiful reciprocal. Oh, we've got more.
On that note, I brought you girls a little gift. Thank you so much for
Thank you
having me
so
here
much.
today.
Oh, we so appreciate you.
I
Thank
hope you
so much.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to open it.
Open your.
I'm gonna open mine. I'm a
gonna
kid. I
just
gotta open it. I can't wait till Christmas. Ooh, lovely.
So what is
Those
it?
are our serums.
Oh, wonderful. You know, I was just thinking this morning, I love how I manifest.
Here's like
I was thinking this morning, I need some kind of moisturizer serum
Yes.
for my face. Ta-da! Perfect.
Oh.
Thank you. Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you. We love you. And thank you so much, Erica, for coming here and for educating us.
Namaste, y'all.
Yeah, namaste.
I love the nano.